welcome to episode 25 of Wrestling with Tim. Kory's not here because he forgot his forgot audio equipment, which all he had to grab was a microphone. So
he left it at his girl's house, but his girl is in Lansing.
Okay.
Either he left.
You don't got to dox the guy, man. You don't got to dox. Okay.
No shade.
You can just say you can say she lives an hour away. You don't got to say what the city she lives in.
I don't think it's a secret that like where we're from.
I don't know where you're from, and I wouldn't tell where you live. I wouldn't broadcast that over the internet. You know.
I mean,
you can if you'd like. I wouldn't.
I'm not about to give my street address.
It doesn't matter. People post on social and context clues. You can find anybody.
Exactly. Like.
No. From like.
Snapchat.
Kory's findable for sure, but you know his girlfriend didn't do anything that I know of.
Well, I mean, the boys like posting where he is all the time.
All right. So anyway, let's not talk about him. Let's talk about you not trusting me.
Yeah, why don't I trust you?
Yeah, well, you tell me. Why don't you trust me?
What sparked this? What don't I trust?
I was thinking back to the weekend of WrestleMania. I know you're in the middle of the ocean on a boat, and leading up to night one, WWE on their pre-show announced they bought AAA, and I posted that in the group chat, and the first thing you come back with is source. And I was like, they freaking just said it. Michael Cole just spewed the words. They had all these wrestlers around him that are all Hispanic, heritage. And you're like, yours? Like,
okay,
dog.
I can justify.
And then no. And then I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I spent 5 minutes trying to find a clip that they hadn't even posted yet. The second they posted it, I sent it to you. But immediately you were like, what's this yours? And I was like, dog, like. Give it 5 minutes, it'll be all over the internet. But no. Immediately, I don't
justify this.
Oh, can you?
One, I wasn't watching the pre-show, so I had no clue.
That has nothing to do with not trusting me, but okay.
2, there was a thing like a month or two ago where everybody was like, WWE bought Lucha Underground, and we were talking about it in the group chat, and it ended up being fake.
Lucha Underground's not real, though.
Like, they had bought the rights to the Lucha Underground, like
library?
Yeah. Well, no, like the IP. Like, so that,
what?
But it ended up not being real.
Right.
So, when...
You know what's funny? You say that. I never saw that rumor on the internet at all anywhere.
So, I assumed that it was a situation like that where you saw something on Twitter or whatnot.
No.
And I was like, oh, is that real? Because I don't trust anything until I see proof.
It just made me feel some kind of way because I'm thinking about it on my way home, and I was like, this dude didn't trust me at all.
And why are you? We've had like 3 episodes since that happened. Why are you just now bringing this up?
My brain does not work like I don't think the way it's supposed to, where it's like, I always compare it to like a Ferris wheel, right? You can only get on at a certain point, and you can only get off at a certain point. If you get off at a certain point, you're going to fall, right? And it's like random idea gets on, and then I don't think about it again until it comes all the way back around. And then, so it's like all the seats are like different thoughts I have. And randomly, they all have to align to a certain point where I go, oh, yeah, Ian doesn't trust me. So I don't know. It's just been floating.
It was just that one instance, man. Where I was like, "That okay? Well, how you know that?
You didn't.
I wasn't watching the pre-show.
Yeah,
so
but here's the thing. If I insinuated you were a liar, right?
I wasn't insinuating you were a liar.
Whoa. Source? What's your source? It
was more of where'd that come from, type deal. When I said source.
See, if you did something like that, I'd be like, oh, really? And then that would prompt someone to probably post a source. But saying the words source immediately makes me feel like I don't believe you, dog. So all I'm saying is Ian doesn't trust me.
I was on vacation. It was a quick response while I was.
That's cool.
While I was busy.
Yeah, did it have to be the word source?
Just quick. All right, cool. Keep moving. It wasn't personal. You taking something unpersonal, personal, dog.
I mean, no. I didn't take it personal. I took it as for what it was.
You didn't
You
take
didn't.
it
You did.
personal, yet you're making it a whole segment on the podcast, but you didn't take it personal.
You can.
Something that happened almost a month ago. You decided now to bring up, but you didn't take it personal. Stop it, Tim.
The truth is, I didn't remember
Stop
it until like a couple days ago, and then I was like, wait a minute. And then I had the correlation of this dude
Brother,
didn't
you
trust
could have
me.
texted me a couple of days ago, be like, "Hey, bro, what was up with this?" And I,
No, you
if you didn't take it
you
personal.
you cannot tell
would've-
me. You cannot tell me that when Kory listens to this, he won't take my side and go, he's right.
Of course he will, because
And he'll
Kory
be
is
in it.
anti-Ian.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. But he'll all.
Childhood best friend, and he's anti-Ian
That's
on
that's
everything.
that's how a lot of friendships work. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. I feel 20% better. So
You feel vindicated.
no, I just feel 20% better. I don't
Alright,
feel
cool.
vindicated. I know what happened. I know the truth, and that's okay. All it is just that I know. It's cool. It's no worries. No worries, dog.
So Backlash.
Yeah. So what happened at Backlash? Let's talk.
You want to go match order? You want to start with the main event?
You pick.
Let's start with the main event. The main talking point.
John Cena versus
It was-
Randy Orton.
Yes, Cena versus Orton for the title. Way better than Cena versus Cody.
Source? No, I'm sorry. Sorry, source.
My opinion. Me, bro.
It was. It was. I think Randy and Cena have almost similar style, and I feel like without Travis Scott, Fiend, I feel like without all that nonsense and all the expectation that was put on this match because of The Rock and all these things, it made the match much easier to enjoy.
Hold on. You're saying without all this nonsense, brother, the match ended with
No. I
R-Truth
understand, but not involving The Rock. Like having The Rock removed from the story and like for sure removed from the story instead of being like, is The Rock going to be here? Because I feel like The Rock's going to be here, and then if The Rock isn't going to be here, then what was the whole point of this whole situation? Because everything revolved around The Rock, but now it seems like we're moving away from that, which is fine.
That's fair.
But it's like at the time it was like The Rock is heavily involved, and then he's not here. But Travis Scott, who is not a legitimate threat to any known human that I can tell looking at him, is randomly like the what? I don't understand. He's the heavy, so I don't understand.
Yeah, that was dumb, but it's in the past. It'll probably not get brought up again.
I
It'll be
really.
one of those things
Oh, are you kidding?
of-
Travis Scott is totally training for a wrestling match.
You think?
No, he is literally training for it.
Source.
It's check the internet, sir.
That's gonna be a running bit.
Oh my god.
One of us is gonna say something, and the other's gonna be like source.
Just start doing it to
Um,
Kory next time and see if he actually listens to this show.
He came over Saturday for Backlash, and he was like, "Dude, I finally listened to that episode where it was your WrestleMania recap. You weren't kidding. You just spoke the whole time." I was like, "Yeah, I was told to do." He was like, "No, like, I don't think Tim got more than 5 sentences in." I was like, "That's what he told me to do."
Did I tell you to do that?
You told me just to go.
Well, I figured, it was gonna drive you nuts to like not like go ahead and just mention the things, because like if you were talking about like what had happened after WrestleMania, but you didn't get to talk about WrestleMania, then it's like you have this whole thing that's like all of your opinions now could be like and where we're going, you know what I mean, can be built on what had happened, but you haven't mentioned what has happened. So I feel like
I didn't mind.
I feel like
I mean, I was cool with it.
oh well, I just knew you were going to speak about WrestleMania at some point, so it was just
That's
like
fair.
let's just do that.
So, anyway, that was an old episode. Back to this episode, Backlash. So,
We just live in the past, apparently.
we really do. Yeah. No, but that main event, I really enjoyed it, and not just because it was like my childhood culminating. It was very entertaining. The RKO party is always fun. What are you putting? Sorry.
Distracted? Is that what you are?
Yeah.
That's not gonna work.
The RKO party was fun. The table not breaking was kind of funny. I saw somebody put, "Dang, these guys work so slow that even the tables had to slow down for them."
uh, I think when they built the new announce tables, they didn't really think about how will it explode, you know, or they never
And
tested it.
something I noticed I haven't heard anybody say, the table didn't just like slowly break. Cena bounced off the table, and
Hmm.
as he was crawling out, he pushed the side of it out, so then it collapsed.
Yeah, it looks like it's supposed to, you know, but it
Break
didn't.
like the old one did, but it didn't do that.
Yeah, that's all right. It
I
was
do think it was
interesting.
great babyface work by Orton to be like, okay, that table break wasn't satisfying.
Right,
John, we're doing it again.
right. They're gonna put you through a real table.
And
Yeah.
I love the point that's like, for the first time ever in their last match, the personas are switched, and was like, you know, Orton's the good guy, Cena's the bad guy.
I wonder if it is the first time. It would
For
have
their
to.
entire ride.
It would have
Yeah,
to be way back for it to not be.
like OVW.
No. You could do it on the main roster, but Randy Orton's first run, I don't think he encountered John Cena.
No, because Cena was on SmackDown and Orton was on Raw
Right, but
up until like
who started first?
I think Orton debuted like 3 months before Cena.
Yeah,
Like he was April to Cena was
something.
June or something like
Yeah,
that.
but regardless, I think your point stands because like you would have to go so far back to find a match where it's opposites. But yeah, I think it was probably refreshing for both of them to kind of play off the opposites. How do you feel about people? Oh, of course, just John Cena won the match. Whatever, we all know. How do you feel about the thing that people are saying that John Cena was giving a hint that like he's gonna go face again, like he was like looking like he was not, or he was like
Yeah.
regretting this whole thing, or
I'm living in two worlds. On the one hand, I think
Okay.
it's plausible because outside of his wrestling selling, Cena's a really good actor. On the other hand, it's his last run. He just faced his greatest rival and one of his real life best friends for the last time. I think emotions could have just gotten the best of him.
yeah, I thought the same until I saw um the scene that happened with R-Truth afterward.
Mm-hmm.
He walks into the press conference and he says, and he kind of took accountability for being kind of a jerk to the people that are in there. That like, because you think of Royal Rumble, he didn't take any questions. He said, "I'm demanding to be in the Elimination Chamber," and he got up and left, which at the time I said was a heel move to do. Turns out we were all right. And then at Elimination Chamber, he walked in, dropped the mic, and just left. So it's like, what did he do
I
at
didn't watch the post
WrestleMania?
WrestleMania one.
I don't know what he did at WrestleMania, or even if he was there. But
He did or like what happened.
I think he was, but I don't think he took questions or something because again, heel. But this time he walks in there and he kind of goes, "I haven't been giving you guys the time you deserve," and he was kind of like he seemed like humble, or more humble, right? Like he was actually like there was actually a thing going on in him, which I don't think we get to December and John Cena as a heel. So I
No.
think this is the beginning of planting seeds of what's going to happen. However, R-Truth is an idiot, and that was perfect.
That was so funny.
It was great. So Ron, that's too far. If you speak another word, there will be consequences. Oh, well, I'm just trying to tell you. Oh crap! And the way the sound the table made, bro, was unsettling.
The press conference ends. The press conference ends, and he's just on his back with his legs in the air, like like he has to have a very uncomfortable doctor's appointment. Hilarious.
That was a really polite way to say that.
PG.
PG. Yeah.
But no, the match itself, I like the whole punt tease. I like that they're still leading up to that because the moment that Orton punts somebody, it will be the biggest pop when he finally is able to kick somebody in the head because he's gonna do it.
Yeah, but to who?
Cody.
It could happen, I guess, but
I don't know. It was gonna be Kevin Owens, but
it was gonna be Kevin Owens was for sure gonna get his head kicked into like the third row.
and then unfortunately Kevin Owens caught a bad case of neck.
Yeah,
So,
poor guy.
um,
I haven't
yeah.
seen an update on if he had surgery or how it went or what.
He had surgery like the week after he announced it, and then I haven't really seen
Are you
anything
sure?
since.
Because there was like a fake AI images going around about it, but then like there was like no real update after that.
Huh.
Not that I recall.
I don't know. He tends to stay pretty private on social media.
Yeah,
He doesn't really talk about what's going on, which good.
right. And I
We are
like that.
not entitled to these people's personal lives.
As of April 11th, Kevin Owens has not undergone neck surgery. They do keep it very private, but here's the thing: like, well, Kevin Owens does, but the thing is, you got to think that the news would have got out there because they always go to the same doctor in Louisville. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that would have got out. I mean, Edge went and got his neck checked out at the doctor randomly, and they were like, oh, Edge is going to return at the Rumble, and then he did, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. The match was fun. It was the Randy Orton John Cena Nostalgia Pop match. Like they didn't do they did the whole attitude adjustment into an RKO.
Yep.
Spot, nothing like super crazy to write home about.
No.
So back at the top. Oh, go ahead.
What do you think the match of that night was? Uh-oh.
I don't know if I can say it's the match of the night. It's the match that I had the most fun with.
Okay.
And it's McAfee Gunther.
Okay.
I had the most fun with Pat McAfee versus Gunther.
That just shows you how good Gunther is. He can just pull a match out on anybody.
Yeah, and like Cole was entertaining with the Bobby Heenan spot. Like
Pulling
that
the
was
leg.
fun. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
I had the most fun. So, because by that point, my wife had gotten home, so me, Kory, and her are sitting on the couch, and she's praying for Gunther to win because if Gunther wins, then she clean sweeps the predictions.
No, Pat McAfee, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, McAfee. She's pulling for McAfee because if McAfee wins, she clean sweeps.
Yeah, she wins everything.
Like, oh, and every time there's a hope spot, she's like, he's gonna do it, and I'm like, nope, he's dead. She's like, build up. He's got it. Nope, he's dead. And she's like, stop saying he's dead.
Oh, so that's how. See, this is how you get her into it, right? Is like you make it matter to her, and she's
into it.
She's gonna win. Oh, it's great.
No, she's into it. Like
That's
I turned
great.
on Raw when I got home last night, and I had already started it because I was not watching it while I drove home from church on my car mount. I wasn't doing that.
Yeah, you know what I did with Backlash? We were driving back from an orchard that we went to like a tulip festival thing, and yeah. See, I don't believe in doxing my location, but yeah, sure.
Right.
Anyway, we were coming back from there, and we had to pick up food and everything. And I'm like, "What time does that start?" Google that real quick, and she goes 7, and I was like, "Oh crap!" So it's like 6:50. So in Shell's car at the very bottom where your phone plugs in, you just set my phone in there sideways. And I'm just like, You're not watching it; you're just listening.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, at a red light, you just look down.
You hit a straightaway with nobody on the road. You're like, okay.
Every once in a while, you just kind of glance over and you go, huh.
But yeah. I turned it on. So I got home, I turned it on. It was already like 10, 15 minutes. It was like the end of the opening segment from Raw, and she looks at me like, why is it so far in? I was
like, ha, ha, ha. Got her.
No, she's definitely into it. Or
Perfect.
at least watching Raw with me. She doesn't really care much for NXT or SmackDown.
Yeah, SmackDown will get better once June hits because that 3 hours is a trudge. All right, let's talk about the a couple other matches on this card. How did you all actually? You brought up Gunther and Pat McAfee. Thoughts on that? You said that was a match you had the most fun with.
My one complaint, and it's my only complaint, but I feel it's a pretty hefty one. McAfee survived way too much.
I agree.
He is a commentator.
Yep.
He should have been dead after the first chop.
Yep.
But if you're gonna do the hope spots and all that, and give him his 4th down punt, whatever, that they did he did well.
Sure.
But I do feel the match jumped the shark at the Boston Crab.
He got far too much offense. You know,
Yeah.
if it was him and Braun Breaker, you would not give him nearly as much offense, right?
And Gunther shaking his hand after was so
Weird.
not Gunther.
I don't know. It might be.
Gunther is not
The whole
is
reason.
still disrespecting Jey Uso, who's
Well,
an actual wrestler who beat him for the title.
the whole reason.
He'll shake
But hold on.
Pat McAfee's hand.
But the whole reason that he attacked Jimmy Uso, right, was to get Jay fired up so he would have like a real challenge. It wasn't in a weird way, it was for honor to destroy Jimmy Uso so he would have like a real challenge at WrestleMania.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm not with it.
But I mean, that was the whole point though, right?
Yeah.
And for us, it was like, oh, well, he needs to beat up Jimmy to keep this thing really hot. But what's Gunther's like motive in this, right?
Has Jimmy Uso had a match since then?
Yeah, he was been on SmackDown.
I have no recollection.
Wasn't he? Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure he was just on SmackDown. Oh no, he's been in the backstage segments with
R-Truth, but he's not had a match.
Was it Truth? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Truth approached Orton with a bunch of Cena stuff.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's like, I got him.
That's right. And I think Randy's gonna kill R-Truth on SmackDown.
Oh yeah, R-Truth might eat the punt.
He might. Yeah, he might get punted.
But,
punted into dust. He's old, man.
I do. Rumor is that, and I hate that I'm saying this, but it once again proves that these shows aren't canon. The main event of Saturday night's main event is John Cena versus R-Truth.
Could be. And how is that not canon?
Most Saturday night's main events are inconsequential, so I've just started dubbing them non-canon.
I understand, but I think everything counts.
Yeah, that's fair. They're so inconsequential that I've just started calling them not canon.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a Werewolf by Night. Like
it's canon.
It's there.
It's canon.
It happened.
It's canon.
But
it hasn't been addressed, but it's canon.
All right, then we'll go with the animated shows, the animated Disney Plus shows.
In a weird way, so are those.
Oh.
Hey,
no.
Hey, we have seen Captain Carter in live action, okay?
That does not make What If canon.
You're right. But it also doesn't not make it canon.
No, What If is not canon.
We don't know.
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is not canon. X-Men 97 is not canon.
X-Men 97 X-Men 97 apparently is canon to the old Spider-Man cartoon. A bunch of other Marvel cartoons that we didn't realize were canon to one another.
MCU.
And well, dude, like they can do anything, bro. That's okay. Anyway,
this is a wrestling.
Yeah, we're deviating. All right, so
no,
go ahead.
The McAfee Gunther match. I do also think, and this is getting a little bit into Raw, McAfee should not have been on Raw.
I agree. I didn't think he was going to be there at first because it was like 25 minutes and no one said anything, and I was like, oh, he's not there. You know? But
and
like
he comes out after two wrestlers come out, and it's like, what? This is weird.
Wait, what are we doing?
Why are we making Pat McAfee the biggest babyface? Like, oh God, they're gonna put him in Money in the Bank, aren't they?
Please no. Oh, only do it. Only do it if he gets like a Mexican destroyer from Penta off the top of the ladder or something.
And then to College Game Day you go. Goodbye.
Because that would paralyze him and he would be in a chair, so he would not be coming back.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I will say his jersey shirt thing, what was on the back of it was kind of funny.
I didn't catch it at first.
I'm trying to read it. Like, what is the back of his?
So yeah, so was I, and then I was like, wait, what is that? And I missed it, and I was like on Twitter, and someone's like, did you guys see this? And I was like, oh, got it. Alrighty.
Top of the show. The show opened with the Fatal 4-Way.
Fatal 4-Way.
Banger.
I have to go back and watch it again. I was
It wasn't like
getting out of the car when it was like halfway through.
it was really fun. The storytelling they did with it was interesting. So they started it with because this essentially was two singles WrestleMania feuds thrown together into a big old U.S. title bowl.
Yep.
And so the match starts, and Jacob Fatu and LA Knight start brawling, and
Yep.
Priest and McIntyre
Yep.
start brawling. Breaks down, people are hitting finishers, and then the match ends with those two feuds again splitting off.
Right. And Damien and
So-
Drew go off into the crowd, and
Yeah,
LA
I guess
Knight.
Damien broke a tooth, and Drew took that south of heaven and
To the
they
floor.
overshot
Yeah, to
yeah,
the
they overshot the table, and Drew smacked his head on the concrete.
yeah, poor concrete. That man's got dude. He's got a huge head, bro. Like, I hope he's okay. I really do. Right?
Yeah, from all reports he's fine. They put him in concussion protocol for the night, made sure he was good. And then we get LA Knight, Jacob Fatu. They're brawling. Fatu ends up on the table. LA Knight's gonna do an elbow drop through the table. Solo pulls Jacob off the table.
Yep.
Attacks LA Knight, and then you see this big old arm.
Jeff Cobb.
You know, it was the predictable way to do it, but it doesn't make it wrong.
Nope.
I was really hoping Jeff Cobb would have been John Cena's heavy because I think that would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Jeff Cobb is the newest member of the new bloodline.
I saw.
For those who are curious, he's not in the actual bloodline. That man is Filipino.
Well, neither is Tama Tonga or Tongaloa. So
You know, not but like they're in through like their ancestors' weird like rituals. There's no relation.
yeah, it'll be okay.
Jeff Cobb is as related to the bloodline as Sami Zayn is.
I
Right?
almost called them Island Boys. They'll be okay. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be kissing each other though. Weirdos. I know, but anyway. I saw on Twitter someone posted, "Is that Samoan Rhino?"
I don't even know if that's PG.
Yeah,
Samoan Rhino's hilarious.
yeah. Someone put, "Is that Samoan Rhino?" And I lost it, and I was just laughing so hard. I was like, "Oh my god, welcome, guys."
Where's like Ian? Who's Jeff Cobb? Like I don't get it. I was like, just look up Matanza Cueto, Lucha Underground. You'll get it.
Just freaking Google Jeff Cobb, and first off, just look at him. Just freaking look at him.
He's a monster.
Yes, and it's gonna be great to watch a lot of people figure out who Jeff Cobb is. I'm sure all of his like videos and stuff are trending. You know what I mean? Especially after that.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. So I
Fun
saw.
match. Jacob Fatu retains.
Yep. Which everyone said Jacob's gonna retain that. I didn't think it was gonna happen that way because Jacob Fatu does not need help, and this is building to the Solo versus Jacob thing.
And Jacob sold the confusion really well.
He did. He was really like, "What are you doing?"
And I guess, and I don't know if this will ever be addressed, Jacob Fatu and Jeff Cobb had like a 6-year-long rivalry on the Indies.
Oh,
where they were putting on banger destruction matches everywhere.
Yeah.
They went. Maybe not 6 years. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but a really long rivalry.
So you know how I think we were building to the Jacob and Solo feud?
Mm-hmm.
If we sidestep that and make it Jacob versus Solo's, heavy Jeff Cobb, or Jacob Fatu versus Jeff Cobb instead, with Solo kind of being in Jeff's corner, bro, this could be dope.
I am afraid that within the next few years, Solo might just end up being a manager.
That's fine.
He's not a bad wrestler,
No, he's not.
but
he's also not that good of a speaker. So, in a weird way, he is. I always made this joke that my wife is Asian, just for the record, and I always made this joke. Imagine being the one Asian person who's bad at math, because you don't just dishonor your family, you dishonor generations of your people. Yeah, that may not be PG, but the point is, I know when I had to start the thing saying my wife is Asian. First off, then you knew this was gonna be awful. But like, I wonder if Solo Sikoa is like
I
the.
don't even know if that's PG.
It's not. But I wonder if Solo Sikoa is like the letdown of like the Samoan dynasty. Like he's
Here's the
the
thing.
lesser of them.
I don't think he was ready.
No, of course not. But the Usos weren't
But
ready when they got called up. Neither was Roman
Yeah.
Reigns.
Yeah.
A matter of fact, I don't know what Samoan that was. The Rock wasn't ready. Rikishi wasn't ready. You know what? There might be one. Yokozuna might have been ready.
Yeah.
But that might be it.
I was gonna say Umaga, but he spent years as the 3-minute warning
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
He would definitely.
Exactly. There are so many of them that they come up and they have to kind of find themselves. I think we're
Tamina
just
spent a whole career not being ready.
Ooh,
Sorry, that was uncalled for.
That was
I'm sorry.
that was stiff.
That was mean.
No, I think to a point we're just now seeing it with the Usos over the last couple of years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With them being allowed
think,
to not be forced to be a tag team, let them be themselves. For the longest time, people couldn't tell you who was Jay and who was Jimmy. Now we all see it.
Which is so funny because like you go back and like look at like old videos and or stuff with their New Day,
Mhm.
and now I have no trouble telling which one's Jay and which one's Jimmy.
Yeah, because they become so distinct to us, right? We've become the family members that look at siblings and can tell them apart. We've seen them so long, and we've seen their traits for so long, and we've seen them grow into their own distinct people. That when we go look at it, we go, yeah, that's Jimmy, that's Jay.
Yeah.
I mean, how often will the announcers not say a first name? They would just say Uso, whatever, right? And they see these people every friggin' week. You know what I mean? But now that they're clearly distinct individuals, I mean, sometimes it takes a while for people to develop, right? Maybe Jeff Cobb can actually help Solo.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Honestly, I hope Jacob can help him. Maybe that's what we do need. We do need a Solo and Jacob feud, so we can help Solo.
Jacob is way younger than I thought he was.
How old is Jacob? Wait, let me
He's
guess.
32.
I was gonna say 34. But
I thought bro was like 37, 38.
I would have guessed. I would have thought around 36, but I was gonna guess 34 to kind of like undercut it.
Yeah, he's only
32?
32.
Wow,
Yeah.
they're gonna
Bro's
get
got like
they're gonna get a lot of
time.
mileage out of that guy, bro.
because he spent a long time on the indies.
Yeah, well, Samoans start like wrestling at like 15, bro.
Well, he started wrestling late because he went to prison for a while.
Yeah. We don't got
So
to
he
talk.
started late too.
We got to talk about his rep sheet.
It's public knowledge.
Yeah, sure.
He's talking about it.
Yeah, sure.
But-
I mean, it's crazy,
Anyway,
right?
back.
But no, I think that match, that Fatal 4-Way was pretty good. I do have to go back and rewatch it, but I mean, I think we all knew Jacob Fatu. The thing about this pay-per-view is that none of it was, crazy predictions. Like we looked at it and we were like, I'm pretty sure all this is going to happen. As a matter of fact, everyone who participated in our game all got 4 out of 5 except for my dad, who got 3.
Man, you didn't have to put him on blast like that.
Oh, I did. He thought Randy Orton was going to win. What? No, not a chance.
When I tell you there was a sigh of relief that washed over me when John Cena won, so I didn't have to bleach my hair.
I forgot about that.
Lauren was so mad at me.
She was so.
And Kory freaking threw me under the bus. Well, it was his idea. I'm like, bro,
Why would you say that?
that's exactly what I was like. Why would you? Why?
Why? Yeah.
What purpose did that serve?
He's not a real friend.
No. Because Lauren said you're supposed to keep him from getting in trouble. You're supposed to be his good influence.
She said that to Kory?
I was like, Lauren.
She does not know Kory.
Yeah, I was like, Lauren, stop it. All right.
You're embarrassing me,
here's-
woman.
Here's my hot take for Backlash.
Okay.
I did not enjoy the Lyra Becky match that much.
Really?
In fact, I found myself falling asleep during it.
Why did you not enjoy it?
I just found it kind of boring and kind of like
Interesting.
slow and plodding. I thought the finish fell flat. There were way too many like false finish, predictable type like
I think
or not predictable, stereotypical. Oh, I'm gonna do this one, and then I'm gonna do this heel tactic, and blah blah
I
blah blah. And it was,
see. I think it was paint by numbers, and if Lyra was going to win, right, she had to win the way she did. She can't dominantly beat Becky Lynch. Matter of fact, she didn't dominantly beat Becky Lynch when she beat her for the NXT Championship. You know what I mean? She just randomly caught her like she did here. And I think that's our story going forward. Becky is obsessed with Lyra because she cannot beat her. For whatever reason, she just can't do it. And that in that feud, that can drive Becky crazier and crazier and crazier and cost her to do a bunch of crazy things that eventually can give Lyra an edge. You know what I mean? We're doing like the Triple H Mankind thing. Triple H needs an edge. Okay, so he's gonna fight Mankind in this.
he's in AEW, so. You said Triple H needs an edge, but he's over in AEW.
Oh, shut up! But the point was, the point was, you put him against McFoley because it's gonna be a violent match. It's gonna be something that's gonna draw something out of Triple H, and it's gonna give him that edge. I feel like with Lyra, we can do this with Becky, where eventually Becky is just cheating. Matter of fact, she has a match and she gets disqualified. But what she's gonna do is make sure Lyra's gonna be damaged. She's gonna beat the crap out of her, kendo sticks, chairs, whatever. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is just a wrinkle into the feud that will continue. And I hope if we do it right, maybe Becky doesn't need to win the IC title. You know, maybe she can just constantly be losing it. Because we all thought for sure she was going to win it at Backlash. That did not happen.
Yeah. No, it didn't.
And I don't think it's bad it didn't happen.
I sent my like actual opinion in the group chat. Let me find it.
You don't even know what your opinion was?
No, like I worded it well, and I just can't remember.
In iMessage, can you search?
Yeah, hold on. I found the chat. I just gotta roll up.
Yeah, can you search like keywords in your messages?
Oh. I just said okay. Never mind. I thought I did, but I didn't. No, you can. I knew where to go, and it was less time for me to scroll. No, pretty much. I thought the finish fell very flat. Like it was just like, okay, it's over now.
Yeah, it was a surprise.
No, I wouldn't even quantify it as a surprise.
Because it came out of nowhere, right? No one thought that was actually going to end that way.
Yeah,
which would make it a surprise.
Yeah, I guess. When I think of like a surprise finish, it's like a shock. Like, oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. Like Jeff Cobb showing up in like a fatal 4-way and Jacob Fatu being confused. I get it. But like in the same manner, it was a surprise that it ended that way. It was an underwhelming surprise, but it was a surprise.
I think what it is, because I found myself feeling the same way after that Io Sky Roxanne Perez match. I think I just don't like the type of finish where they're doing the small package roll-up things back to back to back until somebody doesn't kick out. I just don't think I like that as a finish.
Yeah, I'm not high on it as a finish as well. However, again, I think I laid out the best possible way for us to go with this Lyra thing, that it makes sense, right? Like, if that's the case, where she can always just squeak by Becky, right? It could be a thing where it's like, we can do this thing where it's like, in the future, if their feud blows off and whatever, in the future, and it comes back, we can be like, you can't beat me. You know what I mean? You could flip that. There's something to it that you can use. And I think if Lyra continues this feud and she constantly is beating Becky, you can really turn Becky up and just go nuts. Yeah. And then if she still can't beat Lyra, then she can just be insanely crazy. Like you could do a bunch with that as her character, It's like an extra layer.
Yeah. True. I guess we'll just have to let it play out.
Absolutely, and that's really like the whole thing of everything, right? Is like we don't know what's going to happen. You either like it or you don't right now, but it could be great, it could be awful in the future. Everything it's just got to play out, you know.
Let it play out.
Right. So the next match we can talk about is Dominic Mysterio facing Penta.
It was a really good Raw match. I will say the suicide dive into the tornado DDT was a sweet spot.
was
Like, that was
really dope. And
everything else we saw happen on Raw like the week before with a different Dominic opponent.
yeah. So and you know the whole Judgment Day interference, and then on Raw, you had Dominic asking Finn, why did you hesitate? You know, with the chair, and so we're still building to the fall of the Judgment Day. Also, speaking of that, did you see Finn talking to Roxanne Perez in the background?
2 weeks in a row.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They broke
something.
up that tag team after Raw last night. Like,
Yeah.
which was like, okay, so what's the plan?
Don't know, but or seemingly broke up. We'll really see about it.
I think that when the draft, because I guess the draft is supposed to happen in between Saturday night's main event and Money in the Bank.
Would be cool.
Always love the draft. I'm guessing that they're gonna call up Roxanne and Julia to Raw. I also have a feeling they're gonna switch the titles. I feel like they're gonna bring Cena's title to Raw and send Jay over to SmackDown,
They could.
which would mean they would need to switch the women's titles.
No, why? They don't have to match. What?
Well, that's the whole reason they designed them the way that they did.
So because there's a world heavyweight title and a WWE title, but they don't have to be exclusively on the same
But, like,
shows.
tag titles match them too.
No, the tag titles don't match either of them.
The Raw look up a picture of the Raw tag titles. They match the World Heavyweight Championship.
No, they're circles.
It's so they're circular versions of the World Heavyweight Championship.
No, not at all. No, you look this up right now, and go especially the SmackDown ones. They don't match anything.
No, the SmackDown ones don't match. The
Yeah,
SmackDown
and
ones are gorgeous.
The only way you would consider the Raw ones to be matching is that they have a little bit of red on them. But other than that, that's it. They don't match anything.
Fair enough.
They're their own titles, like the women's tag titles.
Which those things just need to go.
You know what we should do in the draft? We should do a special draft episode, and that's not this one. But one thing that does need to happen in that draft is we got to move Rey Fenix to Raw.
Oh yeah, 100%. Ray Phoenix. I'm assuming that's gonna happen.
Because I'm going to say something you might disagree with. Penta is better than Rey Fenix. I don't know what
think
I don't
it's,
know.
like, connect with
I
the crowd better.
I couldn't tell you what is special about Rey Fenix other than that he's a luchador who is very quick and very agile, and he's a very good wrestler. But he has no aura, no charisma at all. No.
Animo does not get over
But
Zero
but Penta just oozes like cool, and he has this aura and this weird.
But that's always been the thing is
Yeah,
Phoenix is the better worker
Yeah.
and Penta's the better character. That's
right.
always been.
But
the
because
thing with them.
but because Penta's the better character, he's the better wrestler.
Yeah.
You
In
know?
a WWE centric world, yeah.
Yes, exactly. He does things that make sense to him and to like what the match is. Where Rey Fenix is just a go 100% every time, and that's cool. But man, get him in a tag team on Raw. Let's go.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
All
New
right,
Day versus the Lucha Brothers.
I'm with it. All right.
I did think it was really really funny. His Raw match with Gable, he won with a Panama Sunrise.
Yeah.
I was like, that's Adam Cole's move.
Yep. Oh, this is great. All right. He did the same setup too. Yeah, the
Yep.
whole thing. It's hilarious. And they were like, Canadian Destroyer. And I was like, not exactly, but sure. All right. So, I mean, the Dominic Penta match I didn't think it was bad. These two are really good at what they do. And,
They work well together, too.
yeah, for sure. But you got to stop beating Penta.
Yeah.
I will say he does, because he is so charismatic and he has like this crazy like aura, that I don't think you're going to damage it. But like people want to see him win matches, and he's going to have to win some matches. He's a future Intercontinental Champion and Tag Champion in my book very easily. Honestly, I want Penta and Rey Fenix both in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Holy crap.
I have a feeling that they're gonna give Penta the AAA World Title.
I would give Penta the Money in the Bank.
Well, yeah. No.
Yeah. 100%.
I think there are better.
Look, we're not there yet. We got a lot of time to figure it out, but I think he's a contender for
We got
it.
like 3 weeks.
Like I said, we got time to figure it out.
They're starting qualifying matches next week, which, like, yes, qualifying matches.
I love it.
For some reason, qualifying matches are always so much more fun than just like, all right, have this random match.
Yeah.
Even though it's just a match.
Right. No. It adds stakes, so things matter.
Yeah.
So we went through John Cena, Randy Orton, Lyra and Becky, Pat and Gunther, Dominic and Penta, and the Fatal 4-Way for the U.S. title. What do you want to talk about? Talk about Raw?
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot on Raw to talk about.
There wasn't. There's we're continuing the Austin Theory and Grayson Waller breakup. We're teasing Finn Balor talking to Roxanne. By the way, I brought this up last night. I think Julia is better on the main roster than she is in NXT. And the reason and I was thinking about this match she had last night. And I don't think that's a fair statement after I've really thought about it. But I think the reason it is because if Julia is facing someone like Rhea Ripley, right? Someone she could just hit. You know what I mean? Like just really hit her. Or like Io, someone you can just hit. I think that bodes well for Julia and the style she's capable of. So in that match last night, I feel like she was kind of allowed to just like haul off at people. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I think that knee she gave to Rhea was like right in there. Yeah. But like the match because of that was pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone played their part. Those four are like so professional. It was such a good match. But I think we weren't giving Julia the best opponents in NXT to kind of showcase that. I feel like she still should have had a better match with Stephanie Vaquer, but I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes there are just matches where it looks like it should be really good on paper and it's just not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they were off or their chemistry was weird. They don't even speak the same language, so could be a thing. I don't know, but I think we could run that back in the future though, and they'll probably be better off for it. But yeah, I think Rhea and Io are like the good opponents for Julia to like really like go with.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, those two are gonna have very bright futures.
Oh yes, especially Roxanne being like so young.
She's my age.
Yeah. What do you feel like you've done with your life?
I mean, I shoot a podcast. Well, brother, they talked about it on Raw. Like, she was 15 taking 10-hour bus rides on the weekend.
She's
to
crazy.
Go train with Booker T.
Her family.
I'm sorry.
Crazy.
When I was 15, I had to be inside when the streetlights were on.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
What regulations did your parents have? I mean,
They-
it worked out for her because
they
now
were-
she's on Monday Night Raw, and I'm in a basement filming a podcast.
They
but-
were very. Her parents were very trusting for a carnival burker. You know what I mean?
or she just snuck out and
Something, I don't know. All I know is Booker T did a really good job, and it's hats off to him, and hats off to the work Roxanne's put in. She's fantastic.
I did not know until recently that she was the first ever Ring of Honor Women's Champion.
Roxanne?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
That can't be real.
She was in Ring of Honor like at 18 years old, or maybe even younger. She might have been like 16, 17, and they gave her the title
When did that title first exist?
like around. It's not a very like old title,
Uh,
unless I misunderstood something that I was reading.
yeah, yeah, yep. Oh, that's
Did I misunderstand the Oh, okay, it was a podcast. Dude, did I
So-
misunderstand what she was?
So the Women of Honor, Sumi Sakai wasn't the inaugural champion. Well, Kelly Klein was the last. So Ring of Honor Women's Champion, because Women of Honor is different. Yeah, okay. So they took the Women of Honor title and made it into the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, and that's when Roxanne won it.
Yep.
Okay. So yes, but like the lineage of that title goes back before her.
Okay,
But yeah, not wrong. And she was 19
but like
years
that's
old.
cool. Like that's wild.
That-
at
that
19
is-
she's
That is crazy, yes. She's what, like 25 now?
Dude,
20?
she's literally like the same age as me. She's like 22, 23.
Oh, geez. That's so wild, man.
23-year-old.
I don't want to think about it.
Okay, no, she was more. Yeah, she's a year older than me.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's wild. That's why I don't look at stats like that. Makes me feel bad.
I was listening to a podcast that she was on.
Yeah.
What is it called? It's
The-
the one with Ice Cube's kid.
Oh,
No Contest.
yeah. O'Shea Jackson
Yeah.
Jr. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if we're not gonna do any, we're gonna wait on Money in the Bank stuff. Then I'll save that topic.
Yeah, we probably
later.
should, especially since I have to like from here go
Yeah.
run some more errands, and then I really don't know what you have to do until at what time.
No, I just gotta do some stuff around the house. Lauren's working till like 7, so I got some
Mm.
stuff to do. I was gonna cut the grass, but it's rained all
Raining,
day,
yeah,
so-
yeah, probably not a good idea. But all right, well,
Yeah.
listen, let's get out of here, and whenever we get Kory back, we can go over a bunch of Money in the Bank predictions because his are gonna be wild, and I know it because he's kind of off.
I think what I'm gonna do as like a little teaser. I think I'm gonna write out like what my ideal Money in the Bank card is, and have y'all like
Well,
react to it. 'Cause I think
Are
it'll be
the
fun.
are the matches announced? Were the matches
are.
announced for? No, they weren't. Okay.
Nothing has been announced for Money in the Bank. The only thing that's been announced is that they're doing qualifying matches next week, and Gunther's challenging for the title the Raw after Money in the Bank.
Which screams to me either Money in the Bank cash in or Goldberg. Right.
Yeah,
That's suspicious, right?
yeah.
So,
I hadn't thought of that.
all right. Listen, next.
Put Jey Uso on an actual pay-per-view.
Yeah, I agree.
Put him on a pay-per-view. He missed Backlash. He's doing Saturday night's main event against Logan Paul,
Mm-hmm.
and that's saying that he's not going to be on Money in the Bank unless it's in some like tag match thing.
Could happen with the whole, Seth
Seth
and
Rollins did.
Braun but
Yeah.
then there's 3 guys against 2 then, right? Because
Well, not necessarily.
unless Gunther joins,
think-
just to
Well, no, I think Mr. Brooks will be pivoting off into somebody that he can't see.
could be great for
Don't know.
Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. So all right, let's get out of here, and we will discuss Money in the Bank next time.
All right, later.
All right, man. Take it easy.